Hello, everyone. I'm doing a stream here. This isn't geared for the entire league. One thing I'm not very good at, apparently, I haven't figured this out, is doing a stream and specifically sending it to certain people. This is an option. I've tried it before, and I know that they've said they can't watch it. So in that case, I just have to do them live and just send them for the whole world to see. This stream is very specifically geared to four individuals. Um, this stream is going to be a uh, just itinerary, I guess you could say, um, informational for those going to the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony this year. Those are, of course, myself, Nick Ritz, going on. I think this might be his fourth straight Hall of Fame trip. Maybe I don't think it's five. It doesn't matter. Tony Mize going on his second. And also going on their first time will be Ian Rice and Nick Ergang. So, of course, welcome back to Tony and Nick Ritz, and welcome Ian and Nick Ergang. And I think they can, both Tony and Ritz can say that it's a good time. It really is. Um, we go there and we have a great time. I mean, we can't say there's some drinking involved, a lot of laughs, a lot of good conversation. Um, a lot of the fantasy football league does get brought up. We've had so many great trades have taken place on this trip, most by Nick Ritz, of course, but yeah, a lot of good trades have been taking place on these trips. So this year, it's a great class, I think. Um, Headlined by Joe Thomas, um, Darrell Revis. I look at Demarcus Ware and so many others. So the football game. So let's start with this. So as far as what you're going to need, let's talk about that. So packing. So we're going to be there Thursday night. We get there Thursday. We're there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. We come back Sunday. So Thursday is the game. Wear whatever you want to that. Um, Friday is we call free day. I think what we're talking about going to is we do have lunch reservations that day, and I'll get into that. But we're going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame itself to tour it. Um, Nick has been on this trip several times, has never gone. Tony didn't go tour it last year, and myself, I actually haven't toured it in probably 5 or 6 years myself. And every year they add stuff. I don't think there's any massive changes since the last time I went into it. I know the last time I went into it, they had added this holographic locker room, which was a pretty cool concept. Um, but my favorite part of the whole thing, and that changes every year, and this is the weekend it changes, is they have this one room, and you go into it, and it starts off of the previous football season, so it's a theater. You sit down, you're watching it, and it starts with the preseason. It shows some preseason footage of every NFL team, and then it kind of goes week by week by week, goes into the playoffs, goes into the championship games, and when you hit the Super Bowl, then the room rotates. And when it rotates, you go into a secondary room, and you get footage that is exclusive to the Hall of Fame. It was stuff that was never shown during the Super Bowl, has never been shown anywhere else. A lot of on-field angles, a lot of almost sideline angled footage. Um, I just think it's really cool experience to see that. Um, yeah, they have lots of different things to do. They have this one room where you can try on have the helmets. You can hear they have you put the helmet on, you can hear the coaches talking to you. You can try on shoulder pads. They have different players' handprints. You put your hand in there and measure your hand, I guess, against legendary football players. What else? You can measure your thighs up against other legendary football players, and just all kinds of good stuff like that. A lot of history, of course. Um, it's just an enjoyable experience. And then there's a shop if you want to go there. Tony can finally go and get his Chargers hat that he unfortunately wasn't able to get because we had to go look for shoes for my brother last year. good story on that, guys, and you get to hear that probably on the trip. A lot of good stories. That's, to be honest, my favorite part of the entire journey is the car ride. So much good conversation, so much good laughter. Of course, good music played by myself. Um, and Tony, of course, will back me up on that. Um, but so yeah, so the as far as how to pack, so Thursday you can wear whatever you want. Friday, so Friday after we go to the Hall of Fame, we'll do lunch at Shula's, and then we're gonna drive to Cleveland, and then we'll spend the rest of the day in Cleveland. We have the baseball game that night. You wear whatever you want for that day. Saturday is the induction. The induction will be at noon. Um, so we'll probably just grab a quick breakfast because from by the time we leave to get there, you're not going to want to eat during the Hall of Fame itself. Afterwards, we'll have dinner afterwards. So on that one, there's no dress code, but I mean, how I say is, maybe just wear like a polo shirt, some nice shorts. Uh, don't wear like ratty basketball shorts. Not that any of you guys would, anyways, or anything like that. But just understand what you're going to. It's an induction. It's a ceremony to celebrate um, the career of gentlemen who deserve to go into a hallowed place such as the Hall of Fame and be celebrated forever. So, what's the word? Business casual might be the good word to use, and you'll hear me use that here in a second again. So after that, we'll go to dinner, which we'll decide that. That one hasn't fully been decided, and I'll bring that up in here in a few minutes. And then Sunday is the day we come back. However, before we come back, we go to, which a lot of people I know, I think Nick enjoys it. In the past, Dennis always said it was his favorite part of the trip when he used to go. It's called the Round Table Luncheon. And what it is, we go down and they have this luncheon room. It's almost a banquet, you could say. And they have seating for people to come and watch it. But we actually have dinner tables on the actual main floor. And a lot of people that go there every year. I mean, the table we had at, I mean, for the most part, we see the people that we um, sat at for a couple times. There's this group of guys that weren't there last year. I hope they don't come again. Big Cleveland Browns fan. Great story on that one, too. Nick knows that one. Tony knows that one. He wasn't, I mean, Ritz was there to partake in it, but I'll tell you guys that story on the trip. Anyway, so the Hall of Fame roundtable is we have this nice luncheon. Nice lunch. Usually it's some form of chicken type dinner. I know chicken cordon bleu was big for years. And then they bring in all the Hall of Famers that are inducted that year. And they have this one little centralized little room, and they all sit them all down. And then they have they're asked questions, and they just go. It's a round table. They just go around. And they ask all the same question, and they're usually questions that it's stuff that you didn't get to hear at the induction. It's more of an in depth. It's only for that room, and you'll ask them questions like, if they had played against people in that room, what was it like to play against um, Joe Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, or who was the toughest receiver you had to cover, Darrell Rivas? Who was the toughest team you had to go against? Who was this? Who was that? Who do you think should go in the Hall of Fame next year? That's a cool one. I always love. And they usually, of course, they always say um, people that they had played with or had coached them. Um, but that's that. And then right after that we'll drive back to Michigan. It's what, 4.5, 5 hour trip. We usually we'll take a quick pit stop somewhere on the way. Um, but yeah, that's in a nutshell that. So as far as dressing, and then also I always say technically no dress code for the technically no dress code for the roundtable luncheon. However, I say again, I like it's still kind of a not formal setting because there will be people wearing jerseys. There will be. Um, I like to say business casual for that. Wear a nice polo shirt for that one, or wear nice shorts if you want. Um, you can wear nice jeans and a nice dress shirt. You don't have to go full suit. Typically, what you'll see me wear is I'll usually wear a dress shirt with a tie and a jacket and a nice pair of jeans. Um, and then that's really the dress code. I mean, that's not, like I said, no dress code, but that's how I will dress. Not expecting any of you to do it. I will say this: it doesn't work anymore because they don't do this. We used to march these guys through rooms, and they'd actually march down this tunnel, and you could shake their hands and all kinds of stuff that which I used to love. Um, but one thing I thought I discovered, because I was dressed the way I was, it sounds weird. I was actually treated a little differently. Um, I would get more. It was just I was treated differently. I mean, just because of the way I was dressed, and then sometimes that's the way how things work. They're like maybe they thought I was. I don't think they thought I was press, but I don't know who they thought I was. But there was sometimes I remember one year where no one was getting handshakes, and I got up and just how I described you, I was dressed, and I remember Jerry Jones shook my hand. Um, God, who else went there? Ladainian Tomlinson, I think went in that year. The only one that didn't shake my hand was Kurt Warner, and there was a reason for that one because he had stopped the table before us and he had done something with these little kids. It was a really cool experience for those kids, obviously. Um, I think he quick signed something for them, and I was going to bother him on that one. I'm not a big one for chasing people down, and all I did was I'd say, is the same speech I did every single year, not speech, same line I would do for every Hall of Famer I ever got to shake hands with. Um, Congratulations, Mister, and I'd shake their hand. That was it. I don't need autographs. I don't need pictures, anything like that. Um, I just want to let them know I respect what they've done. Coolest experience that I ever had was Tony Dungy, and that was just by accident because they announced him. He came in, and they had changed up the how they did the rooms, and so they sent him the wrong way. They had to bring him back. Well, it took long enough. By the time they were bringing him back, Brett Favre was the next person they were announcing. And the second that happened, everyone turned their attention on Brett Favre. So Tony Dungy, everyone was pretty much ignoring Dungy, and as he's walking down, he's getting close to me, and I reached out, congratulations, Mr. Dungy. And he stopped, and he turned and he looked at me, shook my hand firmly, and he said, "Thank you very much. I appreciate that." And that's something that will stick with me forever, for always, because he didn't have to go that far with it. He could just shake my hand, said thanks, and got on his way. He could completely blow me off, whatever. You'd be surprised some people that that didn't shake hands that would kind of just blow people off, and some people that you would think never would have shook hands would go and like try to touch everyone. So again, they don't do that anymore. Probably for security reasons, I guess, because the round table dinner used to be a lot smaller. It's grown, and I'm just guessing it's for security reasons. Enough about that. So plan is so Thursday. So I kind of let you guys all know I'd like to be on the road by 8 o'clock. So typically what we've done in the past is we'll leave at 8 o'clock, hit the road, and then somewhere in the toll road in Ohio we'll stop. I might fill up there. We might grab a bite to eat there, and then head on our way and go to the Hall of Fame or go to our hotel. When we do that, then it's like, okay, so we eat, let's say 1 o'clock. The Hall of Fame induction or the Hall of Fame game is at what, 8 o'clock? So we're eating a little bit earlier. And so here's my thought. Just throwing this out there. And I'll text you guys about this stuff individually as well, or as a group like I've been doing. Right by my house, I think all of you have eaten there. We have it's called the Red Geranium. It's a little diner. So I was thinking what if we went there first? What if we went to the Red Geranium, grabbed breakfast essentially, eat, then hit the road. Then all we're doing is we'll stop somewhere in Ohio for gas. I'll fill up. And typically with the gas, everyone kind of shares that, by the way. It'll be a few fill ups on the entire trip. But anyway, so we eat. So let's say we eat at 8 o'clock, hit the road. We're at the latest, we're on the road by 9. It's 4.5, 5 hour at the most drive. puts us there. Then we're going to be hungry for dinner. And then my mindset would be we'd eat at like 4:35 at Melt. Um, Hold on one second. I'm going goofy with my. Ugh. Something popped up on my thing. It's making sure I didn't get cut off. So then I thought we'd be hungry for dinner before the game, and we're going to eat at what's called Melt. For those of you that are newer to the trip, both Nick and Tony will say they love it. They'll let you know that. It's always been a popular hit. It's kind of become a tradition. The place we used to go to actually got permanently closed, and they have a different one open now, which is actually literally 2 minutes drive from our hotel. Um, so then, like I said, so we eat breakfast, get there, and then we'd be hungry to eat dinner, and then we go to the game. And I like to try to get there early. You're looking at now. Here's the thing. So this year's Cleveland and the Jets. Um, it's a sellout every year. The thing is, you have Cleveland. You're going to have this place is going to be packed. So we're going to want to get there. I'd say try to gun for 6 o'clock ish. Because then we usually park in someone's lawn. We share it's usually one person will get one day, one person will get a different day. As far as that's usually anywhere from $10 to $20 to park. And we walk in. No weapons, of course. Um, no beverages are welcome in. I mean, the standard stuff. You go anywhere you go, any concert you would go to. Um, so then we would go there, do the game. Great seats. They're 3 rows off the field. I was able to upgrade those last year. Um, and then the cool thing about the fact that I go every year is as long as I go every year, I get the exact same seat. With the option, of course, if I want to upgrade, which to upgrade, I need someone else not to go. As far as, I mean, not you guys, I'm saying someone else that's below us would have to not go. But I think they're good seats. They're somewhere on the, 20, 30 yard line, somewhere in there. Like I said, 3 rows off the field. And this isn't like a normal NFL stadium. It's more of a high school stadium. So literally here's like 3 rows. Here's the sideline. Like they're right there. There's no big separation like an NFL field or college game might have. Um, Game's done. We go back to the hotel. If there's something open, sometimes we might stop and grab a bite to eat somewhere. In the past, we've done IHOP was always a tradition that went back to when my mom and I went back in the late '90s the first time. Um, Good stories going with that, by the way. There's a lot of stories that we get to talk about. A lot of traditions that have happened but that unfortunately COVID screwed that one up. Um, Good story with that. Uh, But I think we started going to Applebee's the last couple of years, but we've changed hotels because the hotel I'd been going to for years, they did some renovations, and let's just say it wasn't an upgrade. They trying to upgrade, they actually downgraded the place. So we found something that's actually going to be better fit overall. Nick will be happy because we don't have to take back roads to get to the place. And it's literally centralized between Canton and Cleveland. So it's just it's 30 minutes either way from either place. So it's a half hour from the Hall of Fame, it's a half hour from Cleveland. Um, Whereas the other place was farther out going a different direction. Um, we'll go back to the hotel. So there's Thursday's done. Friday, we're going to want to get up early on Friday. I would say, if you guys want to grab a snack on the way, I'd say the Hall of Fame itself opens at 9. We want to get there. I'm not saying we have to be there at 9, but we want to get there pretty much between 9 and 9:30 and be on our way because the one thing about the Hall of Fame tour is once people start going to it, um, it will fill up quickly. So the earlier you get there, the more walking room you have, the less wait for certain things. Like the holographic room can have a wait as people start getting in there. If you guys want to do the busts or the heads of all the Hall of Famers, that one is typically the one that has the biggest wait. Now, I always tell people, I guess I've been to this many, many times, and although there might be something different, for the most part, it's going to be for me the same stuff I've seen, stuff I love, but stuff I've seen. If there's one thing I was going to say to someone, hey, you want to save time? Skip the bus room. Unless you really, really want to go in there and see them, um, they're just statue heads. They're statue heads that have the player's name and what team they played for underneath it. I'm not saying they're not cool, they are. But like I said, if the room's wide open, I say all means go through it. Now they have added to it a little where there's this one little area where they have a like in a screen you can click on a Hall of Famer and they'll give you like a 60 or 90-second retrospective of that player, um, which isn't is cool to watch. But I think when people, if the times we've done the bust room, I think that's usually what I just go to is just click on that stuff. Um, but like I said, that's if I was gonna say to anyone what you want to skip, it would be that. But if someone said, "Hey, let's go check out these heads," let's go check out the heads. And sorry, my phone is. I'm just checking my phone here. So um, so then after that, we'll go to Shula's, which you have reservations for at 12:30. That's right on the Hall of Fame property. The Hall of Fame property has grown, and they're creating what's called a Hall of Fame Village, and the village has different eateries now. And Don Shula's restaurant just went in a few months ago. I think there's a new brewery that they're adding to it, or have just recently added to it. Um, so we'll go to Shula's for lunch. I originally was trying to get us to go to dinner there before the game, but they blocked out the game and they blocked out Saturday after the induction. I think I understand why. But Friday was wide open, so I was able to make Friday reservations for that. So I'll have lunch there. After that, if you guys wanted to hit the mall real quick, we could. The mall, what they do is the Canton Mall, which is just like 5 minutes from the Hall of Fame. Typically, they have like a card show where they'll sometimes have people signing autographs. There's other kinds of memorabilia. If Tony wants to look at shoes like my brother did last year, and I know Tony, like my brother, would want to make sure the shoes he gets match his outfit. That's key. Good story with that, people. Um, so yeah, if we could do that. Otherwise, we could hit the road, head right to Cleveland. Cleveland, I have not actually. I kind of sent you guys different places we can go. I'm trying to narrow down. I'm trying to keep it so where we go park, there's a casino. We can go to the casino if you guys want. There's a casino. It's with a parking ramp. We could go and we could park there. Um, and that was free parking if I recall last year. If you guys want to hit the casino, feel free. I know Nick won't have a problem with that. Last year, Nick and my brother did the casino, while Tony, Dennis, and myself just kind of walked around. There was a food court, went and sat there, just had a good conversation there. Um, so we could do that. There was I know an Irish pub I think we had hit before that or after that, maybe one of the two. Um, and then we walked over to the ball field to see the Guardians. This year they're playing the White Sox, and it's free T-shirt for if we get there early enough. You get a free T-shirt, um, and also it's dollar dog night. So the entire night, you can buy as many hot dogs as you want for $1 each, and up till which is pretty much 7 o'clock, up to first pitch is $2 Miller Lite beer night, and so that was I know Nick always is a fan of that one. So that's that. As far as eating, like I said, there's a few places I've kind of looked at. There's one. It was called Harry. The one that probably intrigued me the most. So just so you guys know, I try to get stuff that's different. I don't want us to go into fast food joints and all that. Let's experience the dining of the area. So what was the place called that I thought sounded pretty good? Harry Buffalo East, and that seemed to be a pretty popular joint. I know I sent you other ones. There's Barrio Gateway, which I think is more of a Mexican restaurant. City Tap Cleveland, Republic Food and Drink, and all these are moderately priced places. None of these are like high end, expensive. The Winking Lizard seemed popular. Betts seemed like a good place, and I know there was other ones I had. I don't have them on my phone right now. I have to go back and find them. But we can figure that out on the drive. The Cleveland food we can figure out on the drive. We don't need reservations for that. So then we'll, like I said, we get to Cleveland. If you guys want to hit the casino, we can do that. Hit a bar, whatever, hit a restaurant, go to the game. After the game, we'll head back to the hotel. If you guys want, we can stop and grab something near the hotel. I'm sure there'll be some, just, where we're staying at has a lot of options for eateries and stuff, so we can do that. So that takes us to Saturday. Saturday, we're gonna want to get up earlier. I figure on that one, we're gonna want to hit breakfast in the morning. And I know I sent you guys a couple of good options for breakfast places that are near our hotel. Cool local places I thought we should try out. I know one of them was a waffle place. Was it? Oh, geez. I wish I had it. I can't find it now. Um, I mean, I'll be able to find it when I look for it. Um, I know there was a waffle place. There was another one that seemed like really good. Just something just different, more local. I know they have a Waffle House, but Waffle House really all it is a southern version of IHOP or southern version of Denny's or whatever. I've been to it. I know there's some people that like Waffle Houses. I thought they were eh. Um, I mean, they weren't horrible. It's just not something like to me. It's a chain restaurant is what it is. Um, but you're gonna want to get a bite to eat there. We're gonna want to eat something before we go over to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony because when you hit there, the induction ceremony starts at noon. It's gonna be probably around 3 hours roughly. Um, and by the time we get out and go to for dinner or whatever, wherever we're gonna go for that, that's a lot of time. So this way you're not going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry when dinner comes, but you're not going to be starving where, oh my God, I'm going to pass out here. Um, Also, in the Hall of Fame building itself or the stadium where everything is housed at, the game, and they do serve alcohol. They do serve other beverages, non-alcoholic beverages, and food. All of it is at stadium pricing, so it's way overpriced. But, you know, it is what it is. If you want to get a beer, man, get a beer. I mean, Nick will. Nick will get one, two, maybe three or four. I don't know what his limit is actually. Now I think of all these times we've gone, I need to start counting. I need to start counting. Nick, start saving them, or tally it or something. Um. So anyway, so after the induction, so here's our options. I threw out a couple. One is where we went last year. After last year's induction was called a place called Mulligan's. It is what it is. It's an Irish restaurant. I don't think there was anyone that complained about what they had. I thought it was good food. I wasn't full. I wasn't hungry when I left the place either, and um, it was good. I mean, it was relatively reasonably priced. So there's that. Don't need reservations for that place. Another option, which we would need reservations for, and I took Nick and Dennis there the first year Dennis went. I know, and like Nick will tell you, he liked it. Just he thought it was a little overpriced for what you got. It is a little more high end. It was called the 91 Wood Fired Grill. Um, I said I enjoyed my experience there. I can agree with Nick. You don't get as much food as you do per, like for example, at Melt or some other places, but it was good food. It really was. So that was an option. But if we do choose that one, I do want to make reservations for that because that place will get busy. Um, so those I think are. I mean, we could maybe find someplace else. I think those are the two best options for dinner in the actual Canton area. The Canton area itself, it doesn't have the finest of dining. Um, it's okay. It's finding you're finding there are diamonds in the rough, but you got to find them. And I think those are two examples of two diamonds that we found. Melt was something that we found. Melt technically is actually a chain restaurant, but it's just not a massive chain. By chain, I think there's not even 10 in the country. Um, so then after that, after we eat, then we have other options. We can, as far as there is a concert, I don't remember, it was some country act that night at the Hall of Fame itself. Personally, I don't really care if we did that or not. Um, Last year after Mulligan's, I know we went to a pool hall, which wasn't too far away. Um, that wasn't bad. I mean, it was okay. It was fun. We could do that, or we could just um, there's not a lot of concerts going on. If you guys really wanted to, we could actually go back to Cleveland. If you really, excuse me, if you wanted to go to another baseball game, but um, or we could just sit around and talk. We could, I'm sure we can find something. Where we're staying at, I haven't exactly researched the entire area and its diameter, so I don't know what it actually has to do there. It's more around the Akron area where we're staying at. Where before we stayed in the Worcester area, which is more westward. Akron is more north. So we could find something, I'm sure, to do. And again, this is all stuff what to do after the induction and after dinner. This is all stuff we can figure out on the way. Again, I will be trying to hammer you guys down on the dinner, as far as which one you going to go to, Mulligan's or the 91 Wood Fire Grill. And like I said, just because if we do 91, I have to make reservations. Um, I like them both. I'm cool with either option. I know Nick. If you ask Nick, he probably would say Mulligan's, but I don't want to speak. I shouldn't speak for him, but I think he would say Mulligan's only based off. If I remember, you probably get a little more for your money as far as quantity. Um, the 91 wood fire grill might have a little more. Might be a little more. I say different. Um, they're not gonna have the same menu, let's put it away. Now they do have pizzas at the 91 wood fire grill because that's why it's called the wood fire grill. Is they have a wood fire grill for pizzas, but they do lots of good high end food as well. Um, so that's Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll get up in the morning. If you guys want to grab a quick breakfast, we can do that day as well. And then the at noon is when our luncheon is going to be, and that's going to be a half-hour drive from our hotel. So then we have breakfast, and then kind of, depending what time it is, take our time and then be on our way. There's no rush for parking on there because we have parking passes. So it's just, whatever time it takes us to get there is, we can leave. If it's at noon, let's say we'll even leave at like a little after, like, let's say we'll leave at quarter after 11. We can leave then, or even at 11, I guess, and be on our way for that. Um, that probably wouldn't be bad. Leave at 11, be there around 11:30. Uh, well, you know what? Now that I say that, no, because they don't even open the doors until I gotta find out what time they open the doors because they will not. Otherwise, you just stand there. We're guaranteed a parking spot anyways, and it's a parking ramp, so we'll have time. So there's no rush to actually get there really. Um, so we go in, we'll eat first, have the round table discussion, and then we're on our way back. And that's the saddest part is this trip. You'd be surprised how fast it goes. It's an awesome trip, man. Is this something that the first time I went was 1999. That was the year Dickerson and LT got inducted, and I was what 22 at that one. My mom and I went to that one, and then I didn't go back again until 2005 when Marina went in. And when Marina went in, I remember saying to my mom, I looked at her, I'm like, hey, I go, this is something I think I want to do forever. This is a tradition I want to make. So it was my mom and I for a while there, and somewhere I think in 2000, geez, 2011 or 12, something like that. My brother-in-law Ray started going, and every year he would go, bring one of my nephews would come with, um, and then started adding people. Ray bowed out, and my nephew, so I had 2 extra tickets. Then I think that's where it became Dennis and Nick, and then the 2020 thing happened, and a couple other people. So now I got 5 tickets total, and they're my 5 tickets as long as I want them. So I know this is going way longer than I anticipated. I think I was going to have it go, but um, the first time I ever went to the actual Hall of Fame itself, the induction was 99. It was actually free back then. It was first come first served. They had it right in front of the actual Hall of Fame building, and they would have bleachers all around there and stuff. It was a cool experience, man. And but yeah, they had. in 1988 was the first year I ever went to the actual Hall of Fame itself, um, the building. And then we periodically, when I was a kid and a teenager, we'd periodically go every couple years. And it the building has changed. To be honest, there's very very little there that is symbolic other than the front entrance, which isn't even the entrance anymore. But the front of the building, um, the old front of the building, is about the only thing that's really truly original. It seems like there's been so much added to this thing. It's been gutted inside and out. They used to have this giant. They still have this giant statue of Jim Thorpe, but it's moved. It used to be right when you walked in. Now it's more centralized in the building. Um, I mean, they've made it what it is. They made it an experience to go. Where the first time you went, when I was younger, it was just a museum. Now it's an experience. I'm not saying it's Disney World. It's not. There's no rides, but it's more of an experience. It's more fan interactive now than it used to be. So, like I said, I think you guys will all enjoy it. At least I hope you do. Um, and for next year, you guys will be the first ones invited. If you turn it down, then we pass the ticket on to someone else. Um, Again, this is a tradition that I want to keep going as long as I can make it go. And this is my Super Bowl. It really is. I love seeing the old timers. Are my favorite. Um, that's the only thing that sucked about when they changed the format of the speeches, where it used to be there was a 15-minute time limit, but you'd have Shannon Sharp go 45. But trust me, his 45 was I could have had another 45 of that. And then there's some that are like 5 minutes, and I'm like, my God, he was up there for how long? It was only 5 minutes. It seemed like he was up there for an hour. So everyone's different. Some people are really good at talking and can keep you entertained and make it a good experience, and some are boring. But nah, it's a good experience. Now they have the time limit. I think it's like 8 minutes or something, and it's a hard time limit. I mean, these guys, they get up there, they're on this clock, and they have to boom boom. Maybe it's 10 minutes, but they have to be done and off there. They will. I don't think they're gonna hook them, but they start playing this music in the background, and it's kind of like, all right, you got to get off, and it just. It's the only thing that sucks about it now is that. And I'll tell you guys about how much this place has changed. There's a lot of things that used to be more free and more open. I understand you have to be more, security things change. For me, the experience has changed so much from when it originally was. It was so free and open. I mean, my God, 99, when you go there, you get there, you could actually go on the podium. I mean, you could actually walk on the stage and be on the podium with get your picture taken at the podium. Um, The one thing is there are players randomly walking around, so you might actually walk into former players. That is something that you'd be surprised how often that happens. Um, I can tell you guys stories about those for days. As far as what we're bringing, last year I brought my PlayStation 4. I think I'm gonna do that again. We can hook it up to the hotel TV. I can put videos in it. I can bring like Madden or whatever. We can play a game if you guys want to. Um, Also, I thought about bringing the computer. I was going to talk to you guys about this, see what your thoughts are. I know one of you is going to be completely open to it. The other three, I'm not sure. I don't want to bring it if it's going to be two of us talking. I kind of want to make it an experience if I want us all to do it. So I was thinking about bringing my computer, bringing the camera, bringing the microphone, and doing a stream. Now, we're not going to be able to stream live because streaming live from the hotel, the internet is not going to be great. So I was thinking about we could just record it and then I can download it or upload it after the fact. So there was that. So I'll talk to you guys about that. A couple ideas of streams we could do. Try to make them Hall of Fame interactive as far as what your like have what we call a dream draft, where we would look at who should each of us would pick. For example, let's say I get Marino and Peyton Manning, and Tony gets Ryan Leaf, and um, Ezekiel Elliott. Uh, you know, Tony would get Ryan Leaf for sure. That's his man. You want that quarterback, you can have him. Um, so that was one we could do a few streams. I mean, with those we do at the hotel in our free time or after the events. We could actually talk. We can almost catalog our event and say, how was our day here? So these are some ideas. Um, and as far as the room arrangement, we have 2 rooms. The way it'll work is in one room will be I'm going to put the two that have gone know each other the best. So I'm going to put Nick Ritz and Tony together in one room. I'm going to put Nick Ergang and Ian in the other, and I'm going to stay with Nick and Ian. And everyone has their own bed. And then I bring a sleeping bag and some pillows and stuff, and it works out perfectly. I've been doing this, I think, since Ray started. So let's say go back to 2012. I think I've always slept in a bed twice since 2012. So the more the merrier, the more the merrier. And I know Nick said, "Hey, if you really want to stay, you can." I'm like, I got the sleeping bag. You enjoy that bed, Nick. You've earned it. So that's that. Like I said, I'll keep in touch with you guys through the text group as well. If you have any other questions or any other things you want to know about the trip or whatever, like I said, we share gas. Um, we're taking my wife's vehicle, so plenty of room for everyone. Um, I'm gonna load up a cooler so we can put drinks and snacks or whatever for the journey. Um, yeah, that's it. And I went a lot longer on this than I wanted to. I think last year I think I only did a half an hour, and I think this year it's darn near 45 minutes. So I'm going to end this now, and I'm looking forward to the trip. Looking forward to seeing you guys. And like I said, I'll be in touch, and I'll be sending text messages so we can get this Saturday dinner figured out if I got to get reservations or not. Um, yeah, with that, I hope you guys take care. Anyone who watches who's not going, maybe one day you'll get to go. I love taking new people, and yeah, so we'll see you real soon. All right, goodbye, everyone.